With the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake coming out any day now, the second remake, because why not? I figured it'd be the perfect time to revisit the movie that kicked off the franchise. The one that honestly isn't remembered for much beyond the first movie, but here's the thing. It was kind of genius. Given its insane premise, it goes a lot deeper than you'd expect in a surprisingly relatable way. It's not just your crazy Santa Claus rampage, there's a lot behind why it happens, real trauma, real experiences, and even though everything kind of lines up too conveniently and the people are unbelievably stupid, when everything finally snaps, it actually makes perfect sense. And that's the main selling point of the movie. I wouldn't say it's particularly creative when it comes to the concept, or even the kills. It's definitely okay, it has its memorable scenes, but it's the build-up that really makes the movie work. Kinda. You spend a surprising amount of time with our lead Billy through some genuinely eventful stuff, around 20 minutes, and while that may not be what you think you want from a Santa Claus slasher movie, it doesn't make the payoff any less fun. In fact, if you went in completely blind, it would probably enhance things, you'd have no idea where it's headed, but the way it unfolds, it never feels unrealistic. It's kinda like what Rob Zombie was trying to do with Halloween, only, decent, and we still get a crazy Santa Claus shouting "punish" before Christmas-themed executions, so a fun time it still is. That being said, it doesn't go beyond this, the slasher portion is arguably way weaker, and the movie didn't exactly get good reviews. Siskel and Albert famously read the crew's names on air in protest.
It really is quite awful.
And later Martin, in arguably one of his funniest comments, wondered what was next, the Easter Bunny as a child molester. Let's see how they do it. Like I said, the main thing is Billy's development, and let's just say it's a bit traumatic. His parents give him the usual be nice or no presents speech, nothing problematic there, but they decide to visit his catatonic grandfather on Christmas Eve and leave Billy alone with him because why not? Then this happens.
All the naughty ones, he punishes. You see Santa Claus tonight? You better run, boy. You better run for your life.
Now that wouldn't be a huge deal if somebody just explained it, but no. And another problem is this.
All right, you.
There's a maniac dressed as Santa who has absolutely no problem committing murder. What are the odds? And of course the family runs directly into him. They obviously don't heed Billy's warning. And not only is his dad killed, but his mother is nearly raped, but then just killed anyway. A traumatic event nonetheless. He then comes after him. I suppose he got away somehow. I guess somebody came to get the little brother. And a fun fact, while Jonathan Best plays 5-year-old Billy, and then Danny Wagner when he's 8, the infant portraying his supposed brother Ricky is actually Jonathan's real sister, Melissa Best. I like that idea. It's fun. The production originally planned for a more graphic version of the parents' murder, but the studio cut it before filming because they feared the MPAA wouldn't even rate the movie if they shot it. Even though this would be enough to severely fuck you up for life, especially around the holidays, that's not the end of it. Cutting ahead 4 years and now living in an orphanage, run by the strict Mother Superior, who beats children, and it's also the Christmas season, which she is understandably not doing too good with. This wouldn't be that big of a deal, but Mother Superior, Lilyan Chauvin, is kind of a bitch. To everybody.
All that terrible violence he saw. His drawing clearly shows that.
I am not interested in what you think. I thought you finally understood that.
Expects him to just get over what happened. I mean, he is 8 after all. Punishing him for leaving his room, which he was told he could do, but still it was working out until the yearly visit from Santa, because not sitting on his lap is also naughty. This goes about as well as expected. And we have the setup for a truly fucked up upbringing. Trauma, abuse, lack of understanding, witnessing some graphic sex because that happened too. And despite all that, he seems okay. now played by Robert Wilson, working as a stock boy in a local toy store. And even if some of the employees don't like how he occasionally chooses to not do his job, he can't really complain too much. He has a crush on his coworker Pamela, in which his sexual thoughts are interrupted by morbid images, but nonetheless it would seem things are finally normal. Until it all goes wrong, for extremely convenient reasons. You see, the employee who normally plays Santa is injured, and of all the people, the job goes to Billy, because explaining why that's a bad idea isn't an option.
I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
So, I'll admit, this is kinda funny. Up until now, I enjoyed every minute of the movie, just because of how ridiculously convenient it is.
I don't bring toys to naughty children. I punish them severely. That's right.
That little girl's gonna be permanently traumatized. They think he's good with kids, and now we have a setup for a future sequel if Disney ever decides to buy the franchise. Just make her the new killer, it makes sense, and you got a female lead. Not that that really makes sense for a feminist. I mean, you should want the opposite, not a killer. But then again, they're calling the witch from Weapons a gay icon, even though she's not gay and kidnapped children. Somehow they get through this with no fatalities, but for whatever reason he decides not to take the suit off even when they're closed. He just keeps it on, and multiple triggering words get said in a row. You know, real triggering words, not modern stuff. But even though you can see him slowly losing it in a believable manner, that's not really what does him in. No, it's the unreasonable coworker Andy who's trying to randomly rape Pamela, finally triggering his insanity. He gets a Christmas light hanging for the authenticity, but Pamela doesn't appreciate this, which is definitely naughty, so it's the box cutter for her. He then proceeds to murder everybody else in various creative ways, and what I really enjoy about this is how real it looks. And that's the biggest selling point of the movie. This guy really looks like he was pushed to the absolute end. He was clearly trying to move past it, but nothing around him was letting that happen. So even though he's gonna kill a lot of people, you still gotta kinda feel bad for him because it really wasn't his fault. If not for Mother Superior's strict guidelines and people not understanding, what's gonna happen wouldn't have happened. It's that simple. And this movie that you don't expect to take seriously, portrays that perfectly. If this really happened, it's how I'd imagine it. Also, you gotta love the Mickey Mouse staring right at you, various licensed products. You wouldn't get this today. And among the chaos, Sister Margaret finds out they had Billy play Santa Claus, and comes to the conclusion that might not have been a good idea. No, a good idea would be to hit the like button down below, consider subscribing, share the video if you can, because the algorithm won't do that. And if you want to see me cover the remake along with various new releases, the Cinema Analyst link is down below. Where was I? Oh yeah, chaos. And I like how most of the victims to come really fit into the naughty spectrum. You have a couple having sex, which he was told is naughty, a couple of kids stealing sleds. That scene is just gold. I mean, how isn't it?
We're gonna go sledding. Oh, that's the plan. You guys are gonna take our sleds. You guys are great. You know, I wanna grow up to be just like you. Ugly and very stupid.
That's beautiful. All right, now watch this.
You know what's gonna happen, but you can't help but love it. And we even get a scene when the girl claims she isn't naughty and gets the box cutter as a gift. That's fucked up as hell. The thing is, after this, it kind of hits a wall. Even though it had the great build-up and a lot of cool kills, it doesn't really know how to end it or even continue from that point, so it kinda just meanders. They eventually deduce he'll go back to the orphanage where his brother Ricky is still living. Haven't mentioned him too much. I thought maybe running away without him in the intro would mean something. I guess not. There's kind of a funny moment when Officer Barnes, who is in the movie, accidentally kills Father O'Brien. who is coincidentally dressed as Santa Claus. So many of those in this, coincidences. But then Barnes is killed too in a real anticlimactic scene. We know what's gonna happen. It's way too drawn out. That defines the third act of the movie. It's not engaging, it's predictable. He does set out to kill Mother Superior, which would be nice to see. But instead, Ricky shoots him, a bit unexpected, I suppose. And him saying, "You're safe now, Santa Claus is dead," is a fitting end. Not as fitting as this.
Naughty.
And the sequel has potential. Oh, well, whatever. And yeah, this is a bit anticlimactic. Unfortunately, the movie doesn't try to be much once things really start happening. It kind of feels more like a Sci-Fi Channel movie, and that's really a shame because the opening and even the middle sections are quite strong. The idea of building up a character like this and make it look somewhat reasonable when they completely lose it is not the easiest thing to do, especially when it comes to a killer Santa Claus, but when it happens, when the killing begins, it somehow looks completely natural, like he was legitimately pushed too far. Seeing how he got that way played a big role, they're definitely not holding back there. So when it comes to a head, you believe you're looking at somebody who finally snapped. That being said, I think the humor mixes in nicely. Him consistently saying punish, it still has a comedic edge. And I feel the mix of serious subject matter and satire makes for a fun, but occasionally difficult to watch, holiday slasher movie. And that is until the end when it becomes generic. And the first half is clearly where the movie shines. After that, they had a few fun kills. Not too much beyond that. And since they're trying to be dark in its messaging, it doesn't really feel like anything after that point. Just getting to the end because it has to end. The cop accidentally killing somebody innocent is just treated like it's nothing, because it's what the audience is thinking. And overall, it feels like they wrote this not realizing the potential, and not realizing how good the idea actually was. As in, like most critics say, it was just a cheap movie for attention, nothing more. But then again, it's hard to believe that, given how well done most of it is. Obviously, none of this is too new at this point. I do wonder what the remake has in store. The second remake, but Silent Night, Deadly Night is a film you should definitely see just for the intro alone, and a real satisfying downward spiral. You may not stick the landing, but you do get a number of cool kills, so I'd say it's okay. I'm the analyst, and remember kids, the misuse of copyright laws is definitely naughty.